All right, yo, what's going on? What's good? We back at it. That's right. The midweek report is here. That's right. The midweek report is here, and yeah, you would say it's a little bit of postponed a midweek report of sorts, but this is just to talk about what has happened here in the press tour with Devontae Tank Davis and King Ryan Garcia. Of course, they've had two press conferences, one in New York City and one in Los Angeles. Of course, last one in Los Angeles recently concluded a few hours ago. And that one seemed to have a little bit more fireworks than the first one in New York City. But stage is set. I mean, April 22nd, a T-Mobile Arena, Devontae Tank Davis versus King Ryan Garcia, and yeah, I've looked at the prices for these tickets on AXS.com, and I'm like, ooh boy, I hope y'all are ready because it is a pretty penny. And yes, there will be tickets available to the public by what about 15 hours or so, at 10 a.m. or something tomorrow. But, as of like right now, them pre-sale tickets, of course, are being snatched. Salute on the early tip to Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Y'all be sure to check out that channel with Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Salute to you, sir. Um, and I'm hoping to have someone on to talk about the press conferences because there's one certain person that was at the New York press conference that I sent out on assignment. And after what happened yesterday, I'll just say I put so much hope into this person to do some things, and they kind of let me down. So it's kind of different than how I do things when I hit press conferences or whatever it is. So, um, but either way, coming from my perspective of watching it in the home area that I'm in, it looked like that first press conference that was like a little bit subdued of sorts, or really didn't have as much energy as some may have expected. But I'll say this, hey, even after one day, yo, though the viewing for that got serious numbers on the Premier Boxing Champions channel and the Showtime Boxing channel. So there is a good amount of interest on it. There's been a good amount of feedback that has been posted on those particular videos in the YouTube channels. And I just feel like this. They say that this is a super fight, and I feel like it is a super fight. So you got Leonard Ellaby that's involved in it. That people are, a few people are surprised about, but like I said, in some capacity, Leonard Ellaby of Mayweather Promotions is, you know, involved in this particular fight. Of course, Golden Boy Promotions, you have Bernard Hopkins on there in the one at the New York press conference. He did get the date wrong. I thought that was kind of funny. And of course, you had Oscar De La Hoya in there, talking his talk. Everybody was saying everything about, Joe Goosen and his, wardrobe and stuff like that. So, he was still, being Joe Goosen, but this is like, the same Joe Goosen that has been involved within multiple Premier Boxing Champions presentations before he, got back into being a trainer full time, not just there with Ryan Garcia, but a few other fighters as well. So you got his kind of quote unquote generic comments to say the least. I mean, it's not like you have Bullet who trains Rolly Romero. They're going up against Gervonta Tank Davis, but still. he had his compliments and his comments in reference to the fight. And, in the first one, you had Coach Calvin Ford. Of course, if y'all have been following the Rise podcast, over the past 5 or 6 months plus, you've seen Coach Calvin Ford there with Coach Squeeze and Coach Senior and Coach Kenny, and y'all have also seen me be on there a few times, talking about various topics and also referencing Tank Davis. But here, Calvin Ford was really, really psyched for this fight, you know, and he really boosted the fight like he was one of the promoters himself. I thought he did more of a job promoting the fight, especially in the New York press conference than than the Ella B and Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins and those guys, and also Tom Brown, who was there, speaking at the New York press conference. So, I just felt like, hey, I mean, Coach Calvin is really, really getting his man Avante Tank Davis prepared for this, event. Not just a fight, but it's an event. And so, now he got all this stuff that's going to be coming together here within the next 7 weeks or so before that fight takes place on April 22nd. So you have that. You have King Ryan Garcia, as they say. Of course, he's the younger guy, but he's the taller guy. And this is his first fight of this magnitude. This is, of course, he's had a number of fights and his popularity has, grown a lot, but he hasn't had an instance where he's in an event. And in this one, he's in an event. And so, in the first one, he just seemed like he was, a little bit calm and this and that, speaking up on the podium. And for Tank, of course, this ain't, his first time, doing this thing. So, he was just there, talking his talk. I know that a number of people, brought up the topic of him, not arriving for about a good 1.5, 2 hours after the press conference was scheduled to take place. So that is why you had a number of the people there, kind of antsy, a little bit, waiting for, Tank Davis to show up in that first press conference in New York. But, once it, finally happened and went down, you had what you had, and then you had the first face-off between Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. And they were talking a lot of trash in that first face-off there in New York City. And, yeah, you will kind of hear that stuff in All Access on the first episode of All Access. That is April 1st. Man, that's what, another 3 weeks or so. So you got another 3 weeks before you even get to that All Access there. And then, follow that up with, today's press conference in Los Angeles. That was at, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I mean, that's something. You got to go from, New York City. And then, once all of that stuff's done, all of those interviews are done, and everything like that, then you got to get on the plane to go, what is that, about 5 hours? Yeah, it's about 5 hours on a flight from New York to LA. I mean, I've done it from, New York, the JFK. I've done it from Newark to Los Angeles. And it's a long time, to get out there. So you turn around from New York and then do it once again in LA. And in the LA press conference, they had the face off straight off. And it almost looked like Canelo versus Plant or something. It almost got to that point. You know what I'm saying? But, Tank Davis there, he in this one, he kind of looked like more of a Tank Davis that you saw in the press conference that he had with Rolly Romero. So, I mean, he was just on on a whole nother level with that. So it's like when Ryan Garcia went to the podium, talking about what he was going to do to Tank Davis. And Tank Davis was quickly snapping at him, saying, "All you got is a left hook. What else you got? You ain't got nothing but a left hook." And that whole back and forth John was like, "Yo, Tank Davis is extremely confident that he, pretty much has Ryan Garcia, in the bag." But I'll say this: early, early odds have, Ryan Garcia at like what minus what 230 or something like that, or whatnot, or plus 230 something. So um it's not, the odds are pretty close. I mean, it's not like it's like Tank Davis is a huge favorite in this. I've seen numbers out for other fights where um even like I think, even for example, um like David Benavidez might have a like larger odds in reference to being a favorite to Caleb Plant than Tank Davis has in his fight here against Ryan Garcia. So I mean that's to me that's kind of surprising. I mean I thought the opening odds would have been a little bit wider than what it is. So maybe some people feel like Ryan Garcia does have a solid chance here in this fight. Yeah, like I said, he's a taller fighter. Yes, he does have some good speed. There, he would kind of like be coming in there bigger. I know a lot of people are talking about what uh, Ryan Garcia could be able to um, gain his weight to. So like we've seen that the catch weight agreed is 136 pounds, and that he could only get back up to 10 pounds higher than that 136-pound limit on the day of the fight. So that's one thing there that has definitely been a topic of conversation over the past couple of days. So I'm like, I don't know if that kind of like is a factor of sorts that will take place here on April 22nd at the T-Mobile Arena. So I'm like, well, we'll see how things go. But for me, I just feel like this kind of like is the fight that a number of the people involved, not just the fighters, not just the trainers, but the promoters involved and the networks involved, really want to make this actually be the super fight, and that this is going to be the fight of the big event of the year in the sport of boxing. So, of course, this has been talked about for the past couple of years, that this fight, would potentially take place, and now it's actually, happening, and it's happening, within over a month. So I'm like, well, man, this is going to be, definitely a big event that not you don't really want to miss. And like I said, I mean the ticket prices, boy, ooh boy, I had already like, seen it at the the pre-sale, you know what I'm saying? But like you got, prices there about like starting at 205 and as much as like $5,000, So that is, pretty much what they got here at this point, is that we got to see like how this thing goes. I mean, I'm gonna try to check this thing as far as like what's available there for the tickets. But like I said, man, nosebleeds are over $200 at the T-Mobile Arena. I'm not sure if any of y'all have been out there by the T-Mobile Arena. This is not like this is anything close to being like how you have the venues of the MGM Grand Garden Arena or the Michelob Ultra Arena in like Mandalay Bay. This is like like I say, like they had the Canelo Golovkin fights there. Um, you've had, what is it? You've had, I think, what Wilder Fury over there too, right, or something like that. So you've had a number of big events take place there at the T-Mobile Arena when it comes to the boxing matches. But this one right here, yeah, it's looking like they trying to smash, box office or the gate here with this particular fight. So I'm like, man, I am like really, really blown away of how this could potentially be a fiscally successful event, so to speak, or whatever they call it. You know what I mean? So, hey, I'm like, hey, we got to figure out, like, yo, this joint, I'm really looking forward to it. I know that, Tank Davis, like, is really, I think he's really dismissing Ryan Garcia in this upcoming battle, that he doesn't feel like Ryan Garcia, really has, done that much here as a pros. And I mean, Ryan Garcia has been in the boxing game since, 7 years old. But so has Tank Davis. And Tank Davis has, pretty much had an extensive career in the pro game. It's pretty much been 10 years. Like his debut was in 2013, pro debut 2013. So he's, been fighting in the professional level since 2013, has had these multiple events, since I would say that Yuriorkis Gamboa fight in Atlanta. That was, what was that? That was like December 2019, right? Yeah. That was, the fight before he had his first pay-per-view. That was up against Leo Santa Cruz. So from the Leo Santa Cruz fight forward, he's had pay-per-view events back to back to back to back, and so all of those have been large events, pretty much like high level events, so to speak. I've been to, man, what has it been like about, with the exception of that fight against Leo Santa Cruz, I've been to the Yuriorkis Gamboa fight, the Mario Barrios fight. Oh, yeah. I didn't make the Isaac Cruz fight. I made the Rolly Romero fight, and then the fight earlier this year against Hector Luis Garcia. So that's like 4 Tank Davis fights that I've been to. 4. What was that? Like 4 of his past 6. And it's been like just about every one of them have been like huge events. Like he is like the guy that's kind of like standing out as the box office fighter in the sport. So here, this is, once again, one of those big events. And, I've kind of like said this for a while, that once this fight takes place, this is going to be at the level. This is going to be this generation's Oscar De La Hoya versus Floyd Mayweather. This is, you're gonna have you could have your sides, like you had Oscar De La Hoya, there as the a guy that's the golden boy or whatever it is, the one that's the quote unquote heartthrob and this and that. And Floyd Mayweather was, also was accomplished, but kind of like took the side of the, black hat or whatever it is, the bad guy. And here in this particular fight, and for those that are on social media, y'all see how much criticism that Gervonta Tank Davis gets. Whether it's for stuff inside the ring or outside the ring, he does get a number of negative feedback, from some folks at social media. Of course, there's a huge number of fans for Tank Davis, and they've been supporting with their wallet. Like I said, you've had a number of these fights in Atlanta, in San Antonio, in Los Angeles, in Brooklyn, in DC. Pretty much those things been sold out. So he's bringing out like the biggest gates, like $5 million gate, over in Brooklyn, $5 million or so gate over in DC. Like one of the probably easily the biggest sporting event that they've had in DC. You know, um, so now they just taking it over to Las Vegas T-Mobile Arena for this huge event, man. And I'm like, man, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? Um, so I'm like, definitely, waiting on to see what's gonna be going down on it. And I wanted to see if there's like anybody that has like early thoughts about this fight. You know, um, now I've kind of like been in some conversations, and like I said, the odds for this are surprisingly closer than I thought they would be. You know, like when the numbers are like under 300, whether it's plus or minus, and they're under 300, then that's kind of close, to start off with. So I don't know, maybe the early bets will come in, and maybe they'll have Tank Davis be going over the 300 mark for this particular fight. But as of right now, the odds are, like I said, it's closer than I thought it would be. I'm gonna see if I could, get those numbers on here early, as far as like this particular bout. But I kind of like seeing that um they had what it was. I was thinking it was like -2. Yeah, it was like -280 for Tank Davis and plus 230 for Ryan Garcia. And a number of betting lines had Ryan Garcia around that plus 230, plus 225 range. So that's the thing, man. I kind of like seeing that be the early numbers on there for it. So that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of close to me, man. Like I said, what it was for the March 25th joint, I seen like David Benavidez at like plus, or I mean excuse me, like minus 333 or 330, and Caleb Planet like plus 285 or plus 250, plus 240. So those are like, hey, that's like, man, it's like you know, they're giving Ryan Garcia almost like a little bit of a closer shot to beat Tank Davis than Caleb Plant in beating David Benavidez. And hey, I know that there's a few folks out there that have heard me talk about that fight between Plant and Benavidez, and I'm like, ooh, if those numbers stay around that range, I don't know, man. I don't know, but hey, we'll see this shit. Hey, what's going on there, man? Terrell in the building. You know what I'm saying? He here on the chat. Um, so you'll see how that goes down. We yeah, like I said, we just chopping it up, man. Wanted to see like what folks are thinking about that whole thing with the press conference. And this is what's going on. He says it's Terrell, the real boxing academic. Oh man, like it's a good thing. Mr. Mike ain't here to see that. Ain't here to see that. But yeah, man. Like I said, the boxing odds, early boxing odds, do have Ryan Garcia, they're like ranging from plus 220 to plus 260. And Tank Davis at like the lowest, looks like 5 dimes is like uh minus 270. And FanDuel, it looks like, has him at minus 370. So that number, those minus 270 to plus 230 and a minus 275 to plus 220, that is fairly close. Those are fairly close odds. You know what I'm saying? Said of the, he said of the fiery press conferences. Yeah, I mean, some people, yeah, they were really psyched up about what was happening in the press conferences. Like I said, at the start, I mean, like the first one there in New York, I kind of like felt like a part of the energy was taken away from that one. Just to be straight up, part of the energy was taken away from that one because of how late that thing actually started. Um, but this second one here, I think they started the the thing as far as like scheduled around like 4 p.m. Eastern time, but then the actual press conference started around 5 p.m. Eastern time, so that was something, you know. Um, Terrell says like Lomachenko made a comment a while ago saying that Tank is an expert at fighting taller opponents. Yeah, I mean he's had his fights against Mario Barrios, he's had fights against Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, I know that Leo Santa Cruz is like, had campaigned at like 126 and was around there at 130, but he's kind of like a guy that's a leggy guy. I mean, and it's coming up against Tank Davis, who's listed at 5'5", and Santa Cruz is there at 5'7". Barrios, has a length there at 6 feet, and yeah, I know that Barrios is currently at 147, but he also came from a lower weight as well to get up to that point at 147. But like I said, he's around 6 feet, so he's filling up to that weight. And Rolly was there at 5'8" as well. So you have that as far as like him, fighting those guys that are taller. And I had like made something or made a comment on the channel that Lomachenko feels like he'll that Tank Davis will eventually defeat Ryan Garcia by knockout or stoppage. That and he says like Garcia's lack of experience on the big stage will come into play. Yeah, I mean this is different. You know what I'm saying? This is different than having his previous events. This is different than going up against you know what is it, Luke Campbell. You know what I mean? This is different than that. This is different than having bouts against Emmanuel Tago or that what was it, the February 2020 bout against Francisco Fonseca, a common opponent for Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. Fonseca has faced both of those guys. This is different than being at the Crypto.com arena, the Lakers venue there, in his last bout that he had against Javier Fortuna. This is his first like real big fight, so that's gonna be something there that that he's gonna have to deal with. And yeah, Tank Davis like pointed it out in the first one. It's like, hey, like this is different. Like you're gonna find out this is real different. Like you talk and talk, but are you going to be able to, really step in there in this type of atmosphere and really step up to the plate? He does have, like I said, the experience and the 2023 International Boxing Hall of Fame inductee Joe Goosen that will be in Ryan Garcia's corner. And in the first press conference or leading up to the first press conference, Joe Goosen was talking about how it's different, having Ryan Garcia there in the corner with him, because like when he was with Eddie Reynoso, Ryan Garcia, like Eddie Reynoso had to deal with Canelo Alvarez, he had to deal with Andy Ruiz Jr. at one point, he had to deal with Oscar Valdez, he had to deal with Frank Sanchez also, at least like 4 other fighters outside of Ryan Garcia. So if Ryan Garcia had to prepare for something, or Ryan Garcia is there, trying to train and develop, he didn't really have a full time of, Eddie Reynoso, right? But here he got Joe Goose in full time, so he could see if there's something that he has to develop or whatever it is, and he'll be able to work on that. You know, so this is it. Question here from my brother Terrell. Do you think Ryan is Tank's best opponent? And if not, who is? All right. I'm going to say this. Like right now, man, I would say that Pedraza, up to this point, is Tank Davis's best opponent. And I feel like that's his best win. Pedraza was, the IBF champion there at, 130. And he was undefeated. And Tank Davis was able to, go in there and, do it and really just end up overwhelming Jose Pedraza at that particular point. And, we've seen, Pedraza, be very competitive, up to a certain extent. And he was able to, win a lightweight title soon after that. And that was the next weight up. So, Pedraza, I'd say is, Tank's best opponent. He is like a 2-division world champ. Ryan Garcia hasn't really gotten to that particular point. Would he have had that opportunity? Yes, but he didn't go ahead with that opportunity to try to go for a world title. So here at this particular instance, I really don't see Ryan Garcia as Gervonta Davis's best opponent. Now, there are a number of people that kind of like are out there trying to criticize the resume of Tank Davis, but you have a number of solid fighters there that are on that resume, and I did like name one of them there in, Jose Pedraza. Like I said, he was able to win a world title after that. You had his fights there, or takes the fights with Liam Walsh, Francisco Fonseca. What else? I would say Hugo Ruiz before, the thing where he started to fight the guys with Yuriorkis, Gamboa, Santa Cruz, Barrios. They moved up to 147. Recently had a win at 147 as well. So, he's still competing at the 147-pound division. Isa Cruz Gonzalez, Rolly Romero, who is going to be fighting for the IBF, or not the IBF, the WBA title at 140 as well. So I'm like, hey, he has built himself a resume. This is just something where it's going to be an event. But I feel like after this, if Tank Davis, goes ahead and gets this win against Ryan Garcia, I feel like his next bout could be against a fighter that would be ending up being his best opponent. More from my brother Terrell there. Tego is equal in stature to Tank, but Garcia couldn't effectively cut off the ring and stop him. But big difference when Tank will be hunting him. Good observation. Good observation now. The thing with that, right? So Tego in Ryan Garcia's last fight, a lot of people, felt like Tego is a very tricky guy to, try to catch up to. But Tego is like a stocky and kind of fights short. He's a little bit taller than Tank Davis is, but he fights short and he fights like he's, throwing more of like what I would say, more power shots and really trying to, jab or whatever it is. But his movement was really tricky for Ryan Garcia over the course of that fight. And in that particular instance, Ryan was, having issues of trying to, cut off the ring there against Emmanuel Tego. Yes, that was his first fight, with Joe Goosen. But for someone that has been in the game for a while, like he says that he is, that's something that he kind of, didn't necessarily work on or try to work on there over the course of that bout. And so he had issues of trying to stop Emmanuel Tago. Now, Tank Davis is somebody that, can fight various ways. He can fight, coming forward, high guard, pawn your attacks or your jabs, and then coming forward and really getting off his shots. And like I say, with Tank Davis having a low base already, he gets like a lot coming from his lower body to throw his shots. So every one of his shots is really like, with a lot of emphasis in reference to that. He really does not, take that time to just paw jabs out or try to, really do that type of stuff unless if it's early to see what his opponent's doing first. So either he'll, try to come forward and then once it gets to the inside, really work you, or he would try to set you up by like, getting, setting up bait like he did against Rolly Romero. Pretty much was backing up to the ropes, had Rolly come out with that jab, come back with the left that ended up getting a knockout victory. Real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to Gene Gomez, checking in. The Hyder tank is going to help, to face his hard to punch down. Yeah. A lot of the things in reference to, and I've kind of like said this, in a number of times, especially in the higher divisions, is where you could have someone that is really tall, fighting a guy that's shorter than them. They really have like an issue trying to punch down because it's like it's not going straight forward. You got to like try to find your opponent that's a little bit down. And yeah, it's like easier to punch up. Yep. And with someone like Tank Davis, he's not necessarily going to be, right there with you without trying to either, paw at your jab or try to, take what comes and then just come right back at you. And so, yeah, that's the thing that Ryan Garcia will have to deal with is trying to punch down to his opponent, someone that's really low there in Tank Davis. So that is also something that he's going to have to do. And going back to what Terrell was saying earlier, in reference to trying to cut off the ring, like that's the thing that you would try to have to do against Tank Davis. Tank Davis has a great ability of moving around the ring and being on the outside of the center of the ring. So he utilizes that a lot. So back to, what Terrell's saying here. If Ryan Garcia can stick to a game plan of keeping his distance and fight like a taller fighter, can his speed frustrate Tank? I mean, that's the initial, that's one of the initial questions that, people are raising up here when it comes to Ryan Garcia is that, he does have that speed element, fast twitch when it comes to his hands. But for me, the footwork got to be on point. Like, are you going to be able to get Tank Davis in a position where he doesn't have much of an option to move away from you or to be in a position to have an opening so he could get right back at you once you, throw your initial shot? There's like some things where, you have maybe, Ryan Garcia could throw combinations, but we'll see what happens. I mean, there's times where, yes, Tank Davis does get caught. You kind of like seen that in the fights with Hector Luis Garcia and also with Rolando Romero. But, the thing is, he'll take those shots in order to get them. Now, I want to bring in a guest in here that was on assignment for one of the press conferences with Devontae Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. He was able to attend the New York press conference yesterday. And I don't know if it was enjoyable for him, but he did have to wait an extended period of time for that thing to start. And I think that was a huge factor for this. And that is world famous MBO in the building. Yo, what's happening? Yo, man, what up? Yo, you hear me, yo? Yo, I can't. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, my headset is fucked up, man.
word.
Yeah, it keep activating Siri every time I try to talk. Yes, I'm trying to be very still right now,
Ah.
which is very hard because I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a little drunk right now.
Oh man, you've been like that all week.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, that child support have you fucked up. Trust me.
Hey, bro. See that's why even at my station, man, I couldn't do it, man. I
You
gotta
did it the
have
right way.
I gotta have 15 prenups. I gotta have some. I gotta have some NDA agreements, something.
Like Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
Yo, Tiger, a wild boy, man. Yo,
yeah,
wild boy. I'll tell you.
he set that chick up.
That shit is hilarious.
Yo, that was hilarious, kid. Hey,
But
oh man. Oh, you're like off and on. Yeah, man. I don't know where you at. It's kind of, crazy.
can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I was at the presser for Tank and Ryan, and I gotta tell you, uh, I think Tank is in Ryan's head already.
yeah. Looks like it. Definitely looks like it. From that first one, and definitely from the second one. Woo.
Yeah, in the first one, Ryan said something that was really troubling to me. He said that he's gonna find out if he's really uh, who he think he is. Now, to me, that shows a lack of confidence because you're supposed to know that you are what you say you are entering a fight. You
Yeah,
can't enter any fight without doubt, especially the biggest fight of your career. You
yeah,
know, so when he said that, I don't know if he noticed that he said that, but that was really telling to me, and that just tells me that he may not be ready for the moment.
yeah. I mean, and that's crazy. Given that he said a couple years ago that he was calling for this fight, and that I'm the one that wanted this fight, and I wanted to get this, I wanted to get that, and everything, and then all of a sudden, first joint went down.
Yep.
He kind of was a little bit tentative right there, so to speak. So yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, brother Terrell on here said, to tell you that he heard a definitive bomb squad in the background at the New York.
Oh, come on, stop it. Will he stop it? Come on, man. First of
Uh,
all, I was on my best behavior, okay? Because most of the time I was around kind of.
yeah, shout out to KB, man. He's been real big help for me and others when it comes to the media thing. You know what I'm saying?
Now, a couple other things. Leonard Ellaby took a shot at Oscar De La Hoya. Tom Brown took a shot at Oscar De La Hoya. It seems that Oscar wants complete credit for making this fight for some reason. And he just can't leave it to the fighters. He wants to take credit, so I made this happen. They were like,
Mhm.
listen, we know who made the fight happen. The fighters made it happen. So don't let nobody else take credit for it, basically. They taking shots, little shots at Oscar.
Yeah, yeah, there was that. What was your reaction when you saw Bernard Hopkins up there at the podium, and then he said the wrong date?
He's old. Let's not forget one time he forgot to go to the right corner in his old age during the fight. So, he's taking a lot of shots to the head. I'm not mad at him. But I can't wait till.
Oh man, I don't know if you see, like on the earpiece or something.
I swear I heard Tank say, I'll beat your ass too to Bernard Hopkins. And that's why
Oh,
Bernard Hopkins.
in the first one, yeah.
Yes. And it was funny to me because everybody thought Tank was going to push Ryan off the stage like he did Rolly. But then you see Bernard Hopkins stand in front of Ryan so that Bernard Hopkins was facing the stage so that basically Ryan couldn't get pushed off the stage.
Yeah.
Everybody was laughing at that.
Yeah. I mean that was something there too, man. I thought Tank would have said the same thing he said to that person in the crowd during that Rolly fight. Shut your ass up. I would have been like, oh no. You know what I'm saying? So that was something. Then in the LA joint, man, that kind of like picked up from where that face off in New York was at. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, I mean, I feel like in that one, like Tank Davis was in there like he was against Rolly Romero in their press conference, their initial press conference. But yeah, I think Ryan Garcia kind of like is starting to realize what he's really getting into, though. But I mean, yeah, I'm definitely really prepared for this particular event. Like like I said, I mean, one way or another, I'm gonna be up in that reminds me, I gotta call up a couple folks over there in Vegas side, man, because yeah, like them pre-sale tickets, they getting snatched quick. You know what I'm saying? It's getting snatched quick. Oh, Terrell, yeah, I haven't really seen much on this.
The rematch clause is only for Tank.
Yeah, it's only for Tank. So it's kind of like if there was a title on the line. So yeah, like only for Tank, so they had that.
But ain't gonna be no need for no rematch.
Yeah, no need for that.
We know what time it is.
No need for that. So we gonna see what happens when a young buck gets sent into deep waters. So
Yeah, man. Well, we heard what Tank said gonna happen. He said Oscar Bernard and Joe Goose will have to fish him out.
Yep. They about to gotta carry him.
Yeah, man.
Carry him out the ring. So
Yeah, I can't wait.
That's just gonna be really something, man. I was also saying for that initial press conference, from the YouTube standpoint, they got a lot of views, man. Not only initial views, and then see like a whole bunch of this stuff, clips coming from it,
and they were trending #1 all day.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of interest in this fight, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, and so for those that are like more into boxing, they kind of like doubt that this particular event is gonna reach some high pay-per-view numbers. I'm telling y'all, this thing gonna reach. It's gonna reach that.
It's going over 1 million.
Yeah, it's gonna reach that. Yeah, it's gonna reach over 1 million. And I ain't talking about worldwide. I'm talking about right here.
Yep, it's gonna go over 1 million definitely.
Yeah. And you know what? If it goes over 1 million, you know how much? What is that back end? That will, ooh boy.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. And the thing was in that first press conference, you kind of seen the number of the promoters kind of like take a little bit, like a few jabs about this fight being made and not fights being made too. So I was like, yeah, that's ooh, yeah, So there's that. Terrell talking about he said same question you presented last week for this fight. One loss don't necessarily kill your career. In this case, how is their respective career is going to be affected by their first loss. Well, if Ryan Garcia loses, that's what it is. He just takes that loss. He's the underdog. He's the underdog. Like I said, the numbers are what it would be. He will be able to still continue his career. Continue his career at 140 or whatever it is. Although there's a good amount of players there at 140. For Tank, if he loses, that's like that would kind of be like almost break the internet type of thing in a sense, almost. Because I think leading into this fight, he's gonna be a sizable favorite.
Yep. JR, were you surprised at all to see Leonard Ellaby? I know a lot of people were.
I wasn't, but the thing is, reference to his involvement, I don't think people really noticed his presence in Tank Davis's previous fights. I don't think they didn't really see that, especially his last fight.
Yeah, he was there.
Sure. I know he had a couple of, we had a fighter or two that was involved in that particular card, but yes, he has always kept in contact with Tank Davis regardless. So yeah, like
Well, they're all from the same area.
Yep, that's right. So that's the thing, man. It's just that people just they didn't. But you know what? The only thing that I was surprised at was him having that full beard.
The Uncle Phil.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like what a difference a year plus makes. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I'm proud of him though, because I hate when men color their hair. I wasn't feeling the dyed beard. Stop with the beige and black.
Oh yeah, the just for men.
Yeah, man, you gotta stop that. I'm glad Leonard stopped that shit. Come on, we black men. We age like fine wine. Just be out with it, man.
Yeah. And so why not, man? Just go the whole joint, yo.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I was kind of pleased to see that. You know what I'm saying? So that's good on his part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was overall a good press conference. I see a lot of people weren't happy with it. I guess because it started late and because they were subdued.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the little games they were playing with each other. To be honest with you.
Yes, gamesmanship. I thought it was a little bit of a gamesmanship there.
Yeah.
With, Tank Davis, because you kind of like. I mean, I know you were there, so you probably couldn't really see it, but watching it from the Showtime boxing or PBC or whatever it was, you kind of seen when Ryan Garcia was talking with the guys there from Showtime, that he was a little bit disturbed about it. So I thought it was like a one up on with Tank on that one.
Yeah. Well, I had on good authority that Tank was there. He just didn't want to come downstairs.
Oh, word. Yeah. So that's something there, man. Like I said, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna let him wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the big stage. Let's see what you can do.
It's so crazy. The fight's not that far away.
Not at all. I'm like, yeah, man. Here it is, man. Like this is the greatest rapper of all time. And it's just about 6-7 weeks away. Like, you gonna blink and it's gonna be right there, man. I'm like, like I said, by hook or by crook, I'm gonna be there. I ain't going nowhere else. No, not
you gotta be there for that one.
No, I ain't missing this event. Ain't no way. Like, come on. Like, we don't have events like this, but once every 3, 4, 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, we're gonna have 2 of them this year.
Oh well, but I think this one's gonna be a little bit bigger from a social standpoint.
Okay.
Listen, I'll go to this and then I'll wait until the summer for the other thing to happen.
Yeah.
You know,
And now you see all the tea leaves are starting to point to that. Listen, I've been trying to tell folks, but now you see the little details starting to come out. Oh, they're only focused on each other. They've been negotiating directly. Oscar De La Hoya wants to help Terrence Crawford bring the fight over the finish line. It's coming. Believe, like I'm telling you, it's coming.
hey, listen, everybody was so set that it was gonna be Spence versus Thurman.
Not me.
Right. You doubted that from the get go. You doubted it from the get go though. But I'm saying like even at like after what I'd say about late January, early February, when people started to like say, hey, how come it hasn't really been leaked yet? Then they should have had their antennas up by then.
Yep.
But they didn't. So now what was it? This when they had the Showtime boxing telecast with Garcia and Figueroa, and they put out the schedule, right?
Yep.
They listed all the fights that they had out there. But at the end, they had Spence and they had Thurman, and it wasn't together; it was separate. So
Exactly.
that meant they haven't come to no agreement, no venue, no date, none of that yet. So that means that opens the door for Spence versus Crawford. You know.
Well, another door opened today for another fight. Your favorite fighter in the world vacated
Oh, that
vacated his
that
middleweight title.
yep, he vacated, and we knew that he wouldn't have that purse bid on my birthday. You coward! No, I'm just kidding. But still, right? But that meant that we know what's going to be happening next with the WBA middleweight title. And I did say, or I did tell someone that I probably would go to that fight, but I don't know, man. That other super fight coming? I don't know, man.
Yeah. But if I'm Showtime and
Uh
I'm
huh.
PBC,
Uh huh.
I am doing a U-turn from that Danny Garcia fight, and
Okay.
I am putting together a unification in June, Lara versus Charlo.
Okay. Now, for that, and you did make a post in reference to that, right?
Yep.
Um, did you tag Mr. Um, Mauricio Suleiman?
No, I did not.
Oh, well, that would be the probably one of the people that would kind of like open that door for
Well,
that.
he'll listen. He'll do
Yeah,
whatever makes them the most money.
yeah, right. So it's like the thing with Carlos Adames versus J. Rock Williams. Uh, yeah, that that ain't gonna get him that far. So hey,
Listen, you got Adonis versus J Rock. You could do Charlo versus Lara, and then when let's
uh-huh.
face each other
When it's
in,
faced each
in,
other,
in the fall.
yeah, why not? Why not? So I'd say, hey, you just go ahead and do that. But then that leaves Danny Garcia uh, with an empty bag. So
That's all right. I
where?
just think this is too big of an opportunity for Jamal Charlo to pass up. It's been a while since he's fought, like 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be basically 2 years once he
Yeah,
gets back in the ring.
yeah,
Yo, just go straight for that unification. You don't have much time left.
right. And the thing about it is, like, a number of people weren't necessarily all that impressed about Lara's performance against Michael Sullivan at the bar.
Exactly. It's not like Lara's a world beater. This is
Right.
a winnable fight for Jamal Charlo. So let's not act like it's too hard for him to come back to this fight.
Yeah. So I'm like, why not? You know, I say go for it. And in reference to that Gennady Galadievich Golovkin guy, they sent that letter to the WBA. And it looks like signs are pointing for him to
Nah,
have.
nah, 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 nah.
I
Hey,
wish.
hey, hey, goodbye.
I wish. And yeah, I'm a media member, but hey, we got multiple media members that be talking stuff about other fighters for ages and ages and ages. This is my advice.
Exactly.
Gennady Golovkin should be out of the paint. Okay, but something tells me that he's gonna have one more fight,
Jaime
and
Munguia.
that's right, gonna be against Jaime Munguia.
Will him and the zone be able to reach an agreement? Because they had a little falling out.
Yeah, they did. But that's been going on for a while because the zone was calling him to task saying, "Hey, bro, you're gonna have to come on, man. You got to be facing like Andre to see if you can use a universal with
Somebody.
Carlo or something. You know what I'm saying?" And then he's like, "No, no, 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 no. They're not good boy.
He's
No,
not a good boy.
he no good boy." But Steve Rose, Camille Zerametta, those are good boys, But when it came to that type of challenge, nah, he was holding out for that third Canelo fight. Okay, he finally got it, and well, it is what it is, man.
I
You know,
still can't believe Golovkin. If you were gonna petition the WBA to step aside with that, he should have just did a three-belt unification with Charlo right off the bat. That would have been a big money fight for him too.
yeah, but but he ain't want it. He ain't want it. So I'm like, come on, man, just go on and roll about the paint. You
I
know,
think Canelo took his heart and soul, man.
Well, yeah, I think he did, man. He took everything that he was looking for, man. I think Golovkin, it almost seemed like Golovkin wanted to have a moment like, Juan Manuel Marquez had
Yeah.
against Manny Pacquiao,
Uh
but he
huh.
just fell short.
Yeah, Canelo beat his ass.
Yep.
Golovkin, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer because people like him. But his resume is, to borrow the words from
Ooh,
MC Light, paper thin.
booty do, okay? Or what is it? Or like I heard from one cartoon, it's butt paper. Yeah, I said
Exactly.
it. So, but hey, that the people that write, the Boston Writers Association of America, they gonna have their votes, when it
Yep.
that time around 2028 or whatever it is, and they go, try to put them in. So it is what it is with that, man.
Man, they got to put together that unification with Laura and Charlo, man. That would be a perfect fight for Juneteenth.
That would be, yeah, that would be a good fight for Juneteenth, But I just like I said, man, I make some calls to the WBC office and then maybe over to Gilberto Mendoza to say, hey, I mean, what let's get this going. Let's you
Well,
know
the WBA already said they will allow Laura voluntary, so they can't go back on that now.
right, right. And it's not like they got anybody in store for him as far as like a mid
And
or
clearly, the WBC was going to allow Charlo to fight whoever he wanted when he came back, or they
yep,
were going to order the interim title fight
right.
between Adamas and
Thomas
J
and
Rock. They
J-Rock,
wouldn't
yep,
allow that. So
right.
let's just do that unification, get it over with.
Yeah, yeah. Just go ahead and pop that off. They're over in Houston, whatever it is, and had a unification, man. Because listen. That would be what the first unification bout in the middleweight division since Canelo was there, or something. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
I think. Well, unless you want to call Golovkin Murata unification, whatever it
Oh my
was.
God.
But
I'm not.
here's my thing. I think this is a perfect time for Jamal Charlo to come back and clean up that division.
Yeah. Yep. I don't see why not. Because I tell you what, they gonna have some issues trying to get whoever they can find to fight for the IBF title.
Exactly.
Like what was it? Michael Zarafa and Squiva Falcao. Like,
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm sorry, y'all, but who's gonna put that fight up?
That's a terrible fight, by the way.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God! What is Terrell talking? What's talking about, man? What bodega did Jake get his green purse from? Oh my god, man! Come on, man! Hey, come on,
You
Terrell.
gotta stop being disrespectful, chef.
Yeah, come on, man. What are we doing, man? You know? Oh man. Yeah, April 22nd, man. What's your projections as far as like what fights would be on there?
I think you're obviously gonna get Williams and Payda.
Uh-huh. Right.
So from what Oscar De La Hoya was saying, they have 3 slots on the undercard, 2 on the, I guess, preliminary portion,
Preliminary, yeah.
and then 1 on the main card.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a PBC versus Golden Boy fight, so that's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping for Zepeda versus like a Isaac Cruz or something like that.
Ooh.
That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see.
I
You
need
know, I
to hit
saw a
a
lot of
couple
people.
here for that.
I see a lot of people calling for Frank Martin, but I think they're gonna say Frank Martin for the Spence card.
Yeah, they're gonna say this for the Spence card.
Yeah, so
Um,
uh, you just gotta look at the usual suspects. You know, they'll put a couple Mexicans on there, like they always do.
uh, I don't know, man. They might put on David Morrell versus Jose Scalagui.
That would be great. That would be a great opening bout.
That would be. But then yeah, and then you probably have that what if Cruz and Zepeda is on there? That would be
Now
something.
I think it's gonna be a 4-fight telecast because it's starting at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be 4 fights on it. So in my opinion, you'll probably get PBC, you get a Golden Boy fight, and then you get PBC versus Golden Boy,
What
and then
up,
you
J
get the
Ro?
main event.
Yeah. So because you had that well we know Boots ain't gonna be on it. Um so
Do we
yeah,
know that?
well maybe not, but one way or another we'll find out. I mean, for me,
I
if
mean,
they
we know he ain't gonna fight nobody worth a damn, but that don't mean he's not gonna be on the
what I
card.
mean, oh, you mean what you would call it? Hold on. What you mean he ain't gonna defend that IBF interim belt, man? Like,
Again,
come on.
too.
Oh, come on, man.
Got me sound like Teddy Atlas. Again, too. Again, too.
Against
Again,
who?
too.
Against who? Against
Come
who?
on, man.
Nah, man, like, come on. They probably get him in there against Via, man.
Ah, I don't love that fight. Maybe that should be the opening bout.
Mm,
That should be the card. Boots versus Villa to open it.
yeah,
Morel versus
who's
whoever the
kind
hell
of
he was
good.
fighting. Yeah. And then you can have Isaac Cruz versus William Zepeda and Nicole Feature. And then main event
And
Tank
uh,
versus Ryan.
yeah,
That would be an
uh,
excellent card.
it would be, but Boots ain't gonna be on the card.
We'll see.
Come on, man. He ain't gonna be on the card, man. Ain't gonna do that.
He ain't that expensive. He a Philly fighter. Come on, man.
See, come on. Oh, see, here we go to disrespect, man. Here we go to disrespect, man. Come on, man. And yeah, man. Terrell, that fight is April 29th, man, and that's the thing that hurts me. That's another good fight that I would like to see live is Virgil Ortiz, Iman Stanionis, and this is a week after Tank versus Ryan. I'm like, oh,
Hey, just stay out there.
I know, right? Actually, I might think about that because the way things are set up around my way, I
You
might
could
have
crash.
to.
You could crash at J Ro house.
Yeah, I might have to take an extended uh time out. Look at Neil. He said the best fighter in New York is Chris Colbert.
All right. I gotta go eat. Enough of these guys.
Oh man, yo, he wildin'. But yeah, man, for those But yo, thanks for everybody that was joining in, man. MVO in the building. He was out there in New York City. YSM was out there in New York City as well, man. So if y'all haven't checked out interviews he got, y'all go to YSM Sports Media and check that out. Of course, a number of people are, going crazy about what the Showtime Sports president Steven Espinosa said in reference to Mr. Terrence Allen Crawford.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, man, like you said, that that press conference, man, I don't know if I would have been able to do much out there either, man. Other than probably getting something with Espinoza or see if I could get something with Coach King.
Bro, I had a hard time staying awake. It was
Yeah.
taking that long to get it started.
Yeah, man. Like I could have been left that area, went and walked around the block.
Yeah, man.
Something like 3 to 4.
And you was telling me to be early, man. Listen.
Yeah. Man, I don't know who was out there checking in, folks. It probably was Sam Jackson or something, man. Uh, but yeah, big ups to my guy Matt for making it in there to the press conference, and big ups to folks working out there at Magnum Media / Swanson Communications for this particular event. But we'll have more in reference to that fight in that fight card, over the course of the next few weeks or so, man. And yeah, like I said, by hook or by crook, I'm gonna be there in Vegas, man.
Yeah, man, you got to make it out there. This is gonna be the fight of the century.
Yeah, the fight of the century, man. That's what this is, man. So I'm definitely there. Like if I could make it to, what has it been, 4 of the last 6 Tank Davis fights, right? That's Yuriorkis Gamboa. I made that one. I made the Mario Barrios. I made the of course Hector Luis Garcia. I made the Rolly Romero. That's 4 of the last 6. I didn't make the Eastside Cruz or the Leo Santa Cruz one. But other than that, I've been to all of those other events, man. So,
Yep.
Gotta be in this one. Got to be. This is our generation's like events like Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya had
Yep.
back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So like I said earlier, this fight right here is this generation's Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather from an event perspective. So
Yep.
can't miss out on that. So with that being said, that is the midweek report. Y'all be on the lookout on the YouTube channel here. We will post up an interview with heavyweight contender Jermaine Franklin ahead of his April 1st bout against Anthony Joshua. So,
Bring it home, Franklin.
yeah, so we will, have that here on the Boxing Source YouTube channel. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And we will have our, weekly live podcast on Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So y'all be on the lookout with that. And for those that haven't subscribed already, you can hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. We really appreciate it. On that note, Joe, I'm out. Peace.
Peace.